next, they're gonna make it personal. That's when you know they're toast.
Well, that's your opinion.
It is, and I'm the governor. As for the sculpture, I think it's about perspective. If you look closely enough, even trash can be recycled into something beautiful.
How about that?
The bad guys. More like the bad girls. Dude, I know for a fact the title of this video is gonna be so cringe and it's gonna get like 0 views, but like, I don't care. I'm tired of appeasing the algorithm. I want to have fun, YouTube. Remember fun, YouTubers? Anyway, Dreamworks The Bad Guys, released in 2022. I actually saw this movie twice in theaters because I was supporting the animation, because Dreamworks was actually changing their animation style, if you remember, if you recall, last year with Puss in Boots and now The Bad Guys. I think The Bad Guys was first. I remember this movie being a breath of fresh air because we were getting the same homogenized art style all the fucking time, and it was getting absolutely boring. Like, the art style, the 3D vague art style, I like to call it, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it is the worst thing in the world when paired with these shitty stories. Luckily, The Bad Guys isn't really a bad story. It's kind of like, it's a fun story for the most part. Before getting more into The Bad Guys, let's talk about the animation. And the animation is, like I said before, a breath of fresh air. The Bad Guys is 3D animated, but it is inspired by 2D visuals using like more cel shaded imagery. That animation style paired with a lot of action lines and less smooth frame rate, it's like more traditional frame rate, made The Bad Guys absolutely pop and stand out. It's not necessarily anything revolutionary, but you gotta understand, at that time, 2022, we were begging, we were pleading for any animation that wasn't just that basic ass Illumination type style animation. I love how I call it Illumination's art style because like I don't like Illumination that much, but it's more so on Pixar because Pixar was the pioneers of this sort of like 3D landscape. And everyone else just kind of copied Pixar because it was kind of simple and easy as time went on. Now, of course, going into the score and the music. And the music in this movie, it's like there's some outsourced tracks, I'm pretty sure. And then there's also one song, The Bad Guys. Wait, is it The Bad Guys? No, it's The Good Guys. That song is the only original song from this movie. Yo, I wonder if I go further away, can I actually do the intro? Because I can do the intro to this song perfectly, which is like nothing special. But I kind of want to do it for this video. Look at me. Tell me what you see. Am I good or bad? Don't you judge so fast. That was kind of ass, I'm not gonna lie, but that's how we gonna keep it. Me wearing these glasses make me look like such an asshole, and I kind of fuck with it. But yeah, besides that one original song, all the other music, all the outsourced music is honestly just fantastic. I love the way they use this music. Now the score is consistently good throughout. It's like heist music, so there's a lot of like saxophones, there's a lot of like piano and like violins, all that other stuff. But there's this one section to where like they use the motif of like The Good Guys, the song I was just singing, hopefully I was singing, but they do it in a more sad tone, a more sadder key, and it's just the funniest shit ever, dude.
Come on, man, that's what we do. You serve, I volley. That's our little dance.
Not this time.
Piranha? Webs?
Sorry, Wolfie.
Shark! Hey! Guys?
I can't stop laughing because all I hear in the background is, "We're gonna be good tonight." Now, if you could please come with me to the story. The movie at its core is a heist movie. This movie is about a group of bad guys, they like to call themselves. And so they're doing heists, and they end up doing one big heist, but they failed it. And so now they're given the chance to be good instead of bad. And that's mainly the whole premise for the most part. Yeah, this movie is a ton of fun, and it's mainly the last leg of the movie, because the beginning of this movie, the intro, the build-up, like, it's okay at best. Like, our main character, Mr. Wolf, is supposed to have a lot of charisma, and they do actually have a lot of charisma, but that feels like the only real emotion or side of him we get to see. When he starts going into more like sadder or like angry emotions, just emotions in general, like, I begin to not believe his character at all. The voice actor for this, it just doesn't work. If I gotta keep it 100, the only great character in this movie is Diane Foxington. She is my light skin queen. If you think Diane Foxington is white, you are absolutely insane. She is the most light skinned. She's probably like a little blacker. Like, she's not that light skinned. She got some black in her. That sounds crazy to say. You cannot look me in the eyes. Seeing the way she carries herself, seeing the way she dances, seeing her sarcastic mannerisms and just character overall, and say that she's white, I'm just not gonna believe you. Yeah, when Diane Foxington finally gets on screen, we actually get some good food. That's when the movie actually builds up and there's actually something of substance and something fun to watch in the movie. This whole movie doesn't really take itself overall too seriously, and that's to its benefit, because the comedy in this movie, it's pretty good. I ain't gonna lie, a lot of jokes do land.
You stole my car? Respect.
But the biggest flaw in my eyes is the emotional moments, because there's a twist to where Dr. Marmalade, who is a hamster, you'll see, they turned out to be a villain, and it just doesn't make any sense.
Minutes. No deals this time.
You have to help us. Tell him we didn't do it.
There, of course you didn't do it. How could you? After all, you're such a good boy.
You're such a good boy.
Okay, we're gonna ignore the good boy part, but this doesn't make any sense. Like, how is he dressed up as this grandma, and how would the wolf save the grandma? It makes no sense. The whole flashback of this setup makes no sense. Yeah, the big reveal of Dr. Marmalade basically being the twist villain is like, it would have been good, but since it doesn't make any sense, it's just like, I don't know, like, everything else kind of falls out of place. All the emotional moments fall out of place for me, just trying to decipher what the fuck is going on. But I gotta say, even though the emotional moment took a big hit, the rest of the movie is just super fun. Like, the main reason you're there is for them to do some very sick shit with their animation, and they do it. They deliver. I think this movie, honestly, better animated than Kung Fu Panda 4.
Ebs, you feel like a girl's trip?
Yes.
Later, boys.
Everything get harder to find. Everybody jumping out of their mind.
This is why you watch The Bad Guys. I want more of this. Give me more Diane. With all this being said, personally, I'm gonna give Dreamworks The Bad Guys 6 out of 10. This movie is a very fun movie, but I'd be lying to say this movie is fun throughout. It's just not. The chemistry between our main cast is fine for the most part. It's just that, like, they aren't overall interesting characters to be around. The story also blends anthro characters and human characters, and I wouldn't have such a big issue with that if the anthro characters weren't trying to, like, blend in with the human characters for a heist scene. Like, it looks absolutely insane that the human characters don't recognize a wolf. when there's only one wolf in their city. Diane Foxington very much carried majority, if not all of this movie. Like, she is an absolute treat through and through this movie. I love her so much. But that's all I have to say. Anyway, how's it going, pups? It's a canine, and I'm out. What are you still doing here?